effort of his entire new team. Spurs, Knicks, Robinson, Ewing, next on TNT. A sold-out Garden where the New York Knicks are riding an 11-game home win streak, 4 straight overall tonight. They take on the struggling San Antonio Spurs, who have lost 8 of their last 12. Happy holidays, everybody. I'm Ron Thulin, glad to be with us. Now, when you think of the Knicks and the Spurs, you usually think of Patrick Ewing and David Robinson, and maybe you think of offense. That may not be the case tonight. Joining me again this evening, Hubie Brown. And Hubie, these teams have a lot of similarities, especially on defense.
Yeah, they are 2 of the premier defensive teams that we have in the league. One gets it done with finesse, the other one with brute strength, and that's New York. Now, when we look at the mirror picture, we're talking about points. We see that it's a wash, field goal percentage about the same. They both hold teams under 100, so you know that it should be a low-scoring game. The fact that they both have done it 15 times, that's second in the league only to L.A. at 16.
Now, San Antonio fans got some good news as Rod Strickland ended his holdout, which he missed 24 games. He's back with the team. Almost as important, however, the return of Terry Cummings from a fractured rib.
Well, you know, the way to look at this, Ron, is that last year they played together and they were 36-10. That's why Larry Brown was so excited. They need Strickland off the dribble to create, finish the plays, but they also need Terry Cummings in the low post because he is a prime-time scorer at the big forward position.
And how about our premier matchup tonight?
Well, this is what everybody's been waiting for. When you say Ewing and Robinson, we're talking about 3 guys who are in the top 5 in those categories right there. And then David Robinson is backing it up by being the only player in the league in top 7 in 5 categories. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And we should have an unbelievable one tonight as the Knicks trying to tie a record for consecutive home wins to start a season. San Antonio trying to break a record. They're 0-3 on TNT. Ernie Johnson is next in Atlanta, and then we're back to New York. Winners of 13 of their last 15 as we return to the Madison Square Garden floor as they take on the Spurs tonight. Let's take a look at tonight's Jeep Eagles starting lineup. The Knicks, the only team in the NBA to start the same 5 the whole season so far this year. Matchups, Hubie.
Yeah, a big matchup is Strickland and Jackson. Jackson will have his hands full trying to keep Strickland under control, trying to prevent the penetration. Now, Larry Brown very concerned about Anderson versus Wilkins or Starks at that position. They've been able to light him up over the last couple of years.
The officials tonight, Jake O'Donnell, Ed Middleton, and Louis Grillo. Pat Riley in his first year at the helm of the New York Knicks, 550 and 201 overall as a coach, as the top home records. The Knicks on top, 11-0. Last season, 4-7 at this point. And Larry Brown in his 4th year, 592 and 390, his record in 13 years as a head coach in the NBA. And he comes in tonight, his squad at 14-11. The Knicks at 17-7, and we are underway from the Garden. Ron Thulin, Hubie Brown, and Ernie Johnson in Atlanta.
Now, Larry Brown said their #1 priority defensively is to try to stop the catches down in the low post area.
Excellent assist by Patrick Ewing to Oakley.
Well, you'll see that all night. Anytime that the passer puts the ball into the post, they'll cut to the basket, and a defensive team better be able to rotate across. Now, the Knicks are trying to naturally prevent the penetration of Strickland and also the cutters from the opposite side of the floor.
Ewing gets a piece of it, his first block of the evening. Cummings returns it. Robinson tries, doesn't get it.
Now, tonight, Ron, we're going to see some contact because we have numbers 1 and 2 in defensive rebounding in this league. So it's going to be extremely difficult to get a second shot try. And in order to do that, you're going to have to level some people and put your body in there and take the contact.
That foul, Hubie, was on Patrick Ewing, his first. We look at David Robinson, his first appearance on TNT since putting a ring on the ring finger of the left hand. Was married a week ago to Valerie Hagen, his lovely wife back in San Antonio, hopefully staying dry all the rain they've had down there. 2-1, Knicks on top early on in the first quarter.
Big fella showing the crowd a little bit here.
That's not too bad.
No, he can handle the ball.
McDaniel takes a step up, and he doesn't get it. The rim is not kind, and we have a loose ball foul, and it is against New York.
Now, you see, that's on Oakley, over the top of Strickland. See, one thing you get with Strickland, besides the excellent ball handling and creativity, you're going to get points. He averaged 13-8 again last year, but more important, 4 rebounds a game. He's always around the defensive board.
On the first meeting between these two teams, San Antonio won in the Alamo City, 106-89, back on November 16th, and Oakley got in foul trouble early. He's got one tonight. We've got another one, and that'll be on Oakley again, I think.
Yeah, wait, see, if you're refereeing in this game, you walk out here tonight, you're saying, listen, we cannot allow all of this body contact to go. You could see that was a definite foul. He did not move his feet. You must get in front of the dribbler so that he cannot get a shoulder ahead of you.
New York with 3 team fouls already. We've only played a minute and a half. Cummings, a little exclamation point. Cummings, who missed 11 games with a fractured rib, showed no effects.
Now, in game 1, he was 6 for 6 down in San Antonio versus the Knicks.
Strickland took that away from McDaniel, and then Robinson traveled with it, which he got a break there because he could have been called for a foul.
Yeah, see, Oakley right now is yelling. See, Oakley took a real hard hit that time. Now, we have Mason coming in the ball game to replace Oakley. Now, in the game 1 in San Antonio, the Knicks led by 7 at halftime with Oakley in foul trouble. He only played 23 minutes in the entire game.
So you mentioned Anthony Mason, the third-year pro out of Tennessee State, wearing number 14. Good save by X. He'll pull up for the 3. Doesn't get it. Rebound Strickland. That is his second rebound. McDaniel just 9 of 22 from three-point arc so far. Robinson faces up, and they call for a travel. He made it. No basket. Jake O'Donnell says we're going the other way with it.
That was a good call. He dragged his pivot foot that time. See, tonight, the premium for your defense is going to be in transition. You must get back because we have some of the finest athletes in the league playing in this game tonight. Great quickness.
You mentioned the Knicks looking to tie the record for most home wins to start a season. That was set back in November and December of '89. Strickland walked with it. I'll tell you what, we got a bunch of Samsonite out there tonight. Little traveling music.
Well, you know, you look at Strickland, you look at Terry Cummings. Both guys have not played for a while, so they're going to have to get their feet together in regards to stamina and also the quickness off the dribble.
We've got a foul again on Sean Elliott this time, and once again, they're keeping close tabs on that tonight. The pushing and shoving underneath. That's Elliott's first team foul.
Well, Elliott is their premier defensive player up front, along with David Robinson. They can usually get the job done versus the people that they're matched up with.
Cummings on Mason. Shot clock 18. A lot of time left.
Big thing now that San Antonio is trying to overplay all post up now. See, make it a tough pass.
Ewing from way outside. Strickland with his third rebound. Had 7 in his first game of the year on Monday. Wild shot.
Look out. Look out.
New York has the numbers. Elliott tracks it down, able to knock it out. Knicks will have it with 20 on the shot clock. 9 minutes remaining in the first.
When you have 2 good defensive teams playing one like we have here tonight, you know, 2 of the top 4, you will see the transition guys. They don't give up. The second and third. Oh, yes. I can't believe he got caught on that.
Oh, yeah.
They've been doing that all year. Anytime they take the ball out on that baseline, they lob the ball to Jackson. Put Strickland in daydreaming.
Never saw it. Jackson may want this game to hurry up. His wife was expecting their first child some 6 days ago, and he still says it's any minute. He does not have a beeper on, however, tonight. Jackson over the timeline.
This isn't exactly pretty.
No. Well, Pat Riley told us prior to the New Jersey game about a week and a half ago, he goes, guys, we win a lot of ugly games.
Yeah, you're right.
Inside to Mason, to McDaniel. Doesn't get it.
Both teams very tight, but also neither team was allowed to practice on Christmas Day because that's a league rule. And both teams worked hard today in trying to get ready to work out the cobwebs.
Well, I tell you, the cobwebs are still here.
Well, we have a sellout crowd here tonight. Everyone is anxious. They're looking for the spectacular plays, just like you and I and our fans. All right, and so far we haven't seen it.
Well, at 6:15, Pat Riley was still on the court with his troops behind closed doors here at the Garden with a walkthrough. Robinson from the outside. Nothing but the bottom of the net for Big David.
Both coaches concerned about giving the easy basket on the fast break and also second shot.
That was Robinson's first shot, and the NBA leader in blocks, who averages 5 a game, swats one away.
Listen, he came swooping in. Watch this from the left of your screen.
Oh,
allowed Wilkins to take it out. Now that's Wilkins' strong suit, coming from the right-hand side, shooting with the left hand.
that is a Spalding burger. Ewing over Robinson. David doesn't get it. Anderson tracks down the rebound. Here's Robinson beating Ewing down court.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed at the San Antonio defensive end. They're only allowing the Knicks one shot. So far, they've had a little more activity on the offensive boards at their end of the floor.
7-4, 7:05 left to be played in the first. Wilkins stops. Nobody picks him up, so he takes the 17. And this is what Larry Brown wanted. He wanted to push the ball to Cummings. Count the basket and the foul.
Bad foul. You know, if you're going to just give a love tap, you're better off letting the guy go in and lay it up. Now what has happened here, you've cost your team a potential three-point play. Either foul him hard and make him make the 2 foul shots, or let him go. Now we're going to show you a replay with David Robinson on Patrick Ewing. Now just watch as he challenges the shot. Now as the rebound goes, this is eye contact. Robinson outruns Ewing from one end to the other. Now we know that he's blessed with great quickness, but he's the type of player that wears you down during the course of the night. Now it isn't all from a physical standpoint. He gets you with the shot blocking. He gets his rebounds. He's excellent off the dribble with the basketball from about 17, 18 feet to the hole. And then the old story, he covers up for a lot of weaknesses from your defense.
This is incredible, folks. 5 categories. David Robinson is in the top 10. That is remarkable.
Now, if a player is in the top 10 in 4 categories, that he is having a sensational. He will usually be the only player. But to be in 5 categories and then be in the top 7 I just have never seen anything like it.
And be a center. McDaniel baseline.
I'm kind of disappointed that Elliott is trailing him all night. Now, Xavier has been getting some excellent open shots. It's just a matter of time that he's going to knock them down. Elliott's going to have to show us more, but Elliott is playing with a bad back.
David Robinson, a little Dunkin' Donut action. I love it.
He came in from the mezzanine. That was so quick.
That's his third dunk. He came from the $65 seats. New York, 3 of 11 shooting, around the 20% mark. Only 2 teams have shot plus 50% against the Spurs this season. Impressive. McDaniel again inside.
Xavier's starting to get accustomed to this building, and he's getting into a better flow, where by that I mean he might not be the primary option, but he's getting into it and forcing guys to find him.
Knicks have the numbers. Can they take advantage? Wilkins.
You must get back. See, now last year, the Achilles heel of the San Antonio Spurs was their transition defense. And that's where they would always get beat in the big games. And the Knicks will keep this up for the full 48 minutes. They play hard.
Wilkins is 1 of 4 from the floor. Spurs by 1. Inside again. So San Antonio getting the buckets inside.
Well, they got to start going to Elliott a little bit more. He's got to work on offense in order to tire McDaniels out or get him in foul trouble.
Now Elliott goes on Wilkins. Ewing and Robinson down low. Ewing. Robinson gets a piece of it. That's his second.
They're inside of 5 seconds now.
And Ewing throws it up and he drains it.
I don't think Robinson realized that, or he would have gone out. See, in a situation like that, always make the guy dribble the basketball.
Patrick now 1 of 4. Spurs still by 1 inside of 5 minutes. David Robinson took only 11 shots against Sacramento, and the coaching staff very displeased with that. They hope that man will help that a little bit as Strickland gets his first 2. His first appearance in the Garden since being traded from New York. When the Spurs played here last year, Rod was on the injured list. Had a big game against them, however, in San Antonio. The Knicks, one of the best pick-and-roll teams in the NBA. This time the pick, McDaniel can't get it into the hands of Cummings.
3-on-2.
San Antonio has to take advantage of this situation. Oh, my goodness. That's a highlight. Somebody's going to be on a Sean Elliott poster.
Pat Riley disappointed early because anytime that San Antonio pushes the ball, it's either 4-on-2 or 3-on-2.
Ewing faces up Robinson, pulls the trigger, and he's got it.
Not surprised that David isn't up challenging that shot. He's got to make Ewing put the ball down on the floor, and in that way he can get help. Patrick can hit that shot, and he's proven it over the years. 17 to 20 feet, no problem for Ewing.
Spurs by 3.5 left in the first. Elliott tried to sneak away from X. Shot clock at 10.
Nice.
Cummings, wide open jumper, doesn't get it.
Elliott can take McDaniels off the dribble. That will force the Knicks to help.
What a pass by Jackson inside to Mason. He doesn't get it, but he does get the foul before Mark Jackson threaded the needle on that one. Excellent play.
Well, if you have not seen Mark Jackson play this year, you know, he has lost a great deal of weight. He's lost 15 pounds, and he is having a terrific season. He can always make the play in traffic. Now, this young man right here, what a find. You know, people think that he's a rookie, but he played in the league with Denver, and he also played with New Jersey. Both teams waived him. Last year, he played in Venezuela and did a terrific job for an old friend of ours, Marv Kessler, down there, and his team won the championship. Great pickup by the Knicks. Not only is he a rebounder and a great substitute for Oakley, but he is a physical fighter. This guy has a lot of toughness.
Look at the size of his arms. He's nicknamed the Beast. We've got 3:13 remaining in the first quarter, and a timeout has been called. The Spurs lead the Knicks 17-16. We'll be back to a sold-out Garden in a moment.
Who's got this thing?
You go.
Now we're going to show you why San Antonio is an outstanding club. We said that we have two of the best defensive rebounding teams in the league, 1 and 2. Well, when you do not get second shot opportunities, here they come on the fast break. It's been 4-on-2, 3-on-2 all night. Now, you think about how many shots the Knicks have missed so far this evening and realize they do not have a second shot.
Well, Larry Brown was talking to us this afternoon, Hubie, and he said one of the problems where most of their turnovers are coming is on the break when they have the numbers. That time they took advantage of the situation. That's something Larry Brown really wanted his team to improve on.
Well, you know, when you think of Larry was a premier point guard for all the teams that he played with in college as well as in pro basketball. And the turnover just makes you cringe when you were a guy that really protected the ball. But you have to remember, they did not have Strickland. They are 26th in the league, turning the basketball right here.
Ewing blocks David.
Well, that's good. Maybe that will get Ewing going, get his offensive game cooking.
2 blocks for Ewing. He is 4th in the league in that category coming into tonight's action.
See, right now the guards for the Knicks very silent.
Rod Strickland covering the passing lanes effectively. Anderson to Elliott over Ewing. And the Beast brings it over.
Oh, this guy can handle. He was fouled.
He was definitely fouled.
Yeah, you know, I was talking to a couple of the coaches for the Knicks today, and they'll tell you not only, you know, does Mason give you the physical part of it and the good defense, the tenacity, but he can really handle the ball, and he's one of the quickest guys on the team from basket to basket.
Jackson, Vinnie Johnson up off San Antonio's bench. McDaniel left open for the J, and he doesn't get it.
That was a great pass by Ewing.
It's 2 good ones he's had tonight. Elliott around McDaniel. Looks for Anderson, uses the bank, and that bank's falling.
No one's back. No one's back.
Showtime, folks.
See, that's what I told you. Now, when they were together last year, this is their biggest problem. Because they play the passing game, all 5 offensive players from the Spurs get caught down below that foul line area. If you can rebound and kick out, you are in good shape.
Daniel, who's averaging 15 a game, has 6 this evening. Robinson with the left hand, and David Robinson now with 9 already. 4 of 5 from the floor is Antoine Carr, and Vinnie Johnson will check in, and the spark plug for New York, John Starks, will come in. Oakley also back in New York's lineup on the next break. Well, he's got a nice touch tonight from the outside.
Well, you know, he gets off the shot. It's beautiful. He takes it to the maximum extension. But he has a beautiful touch, and you must get up and challenge the shot.
Sixth lead change. Knicks by 1 nearing the 1-minute mark in the first quarter. Strickland a lot of shaking and baking. Now he only has 7 on the shot clock. And he gets lucky, gets a cheap foul.
See, Mark Jackson has been playing him on his left hand all night tonight. Because if you know Strickland, you've seen him play a lot. When he's in the open floor, he loves to take you with his left hand. And there are an awful lot of right-handed guys that cannot do that. He's more productive going that way. But that time, he took advantage of Jackson. Jackson was shading him.
Wholesale changes for both teams. Starks in, Anthony in, wearing number 2 for the Knicks, along with Oakley. Sidney Green has come in, number 21 for San Antonio, and also Vinnie Johnson. Strickland gets his first free throw. Said he was booed in San Antonio in his first appearance against Sacramento the other night. Said it sort of shocked him, but he's glad he's on the road now. He thinks that it'll get him a chance to settle in and not have to worry about the home crowd.
Well, it's a very good point, Ron. Plus, he's got to get in shape, so why not make your mistakes out on the road?
Played 35 minutes in that first game. Larry said, I got to get him out there and get him in shape. McDaniel over Elliott. Elliott may have gotten a piece of that.
I tell you what, he's been open so much. You could almost drive a car between Elliott and McDaniel on the catch.
Elliott tries to work McDaniel on the dribble, goes up with the right hand and is blocked.
Now, right now, the Knicks are small, so you must take them to the rim. You cannot throw the fadeaway stuff out. Challenge and force them to go for the shot clocks.
The only scorer on the team probably is X. Well, Greg Anthony, you wouldn't consider him the scorer on this floor, but he does get 2.
This group with Anthony and Starks, they take it to the basket as well as any 2 guards in this league. They challenge you.
Speaking of challenge, Greg Anthony said, I've come to New York to be a defensive player first, and he's showing it now against Strickland. Shot clock at 7.
The fans, the fans love it. They love it. They love it. See, Anthony is struggling from a shooting standpoint. He's only shooting 33% from the floor, but he has done an outstanding job for them right here. He's been able to come off the bench and not allow the opposing point guards, especially the second unit point guards, beat him.
No basket. Greg Sutton, the rookie out of Oral Roberts, the second-round pick back in '91, commits his first foul as he's checked in for Strickland.
Now, this unit for the Knicks has been productive night after night after night. They play great defense, and they have the scorers out there because you have McDaniel with this group along with Starks, and they will wear these 2 guys out from the opportunity standpoint.
Vinnie Johnson trying to get to the back of Starks. They use almost that same play from the other side, and it worked again.
Well, you know why I find it interesting? I mean, that's one of the first things you find in your scouting report, all right? They do this all the time on out-of-bounds plays, and they're 2 for 2 tonight.
And at the buzzer, the shot didn't go, but we played 12 at the Garden. And the Knicks lead it by 4, 24-20. Quarter number 2 still to come. Stay with us. The Spurs and the Knicks on TNT. Just a moment away from starting quarter number 2. Knicks lead it after 1, 24-20. We'd like to remind you tomorrow night right here on TNT, we've got Houston and Washington. It'll all get underway at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And the professor, Pete Van Weren, will be with UB Brown as he makes his way to Washington tomorrow. Join us for that. A steal and a basket. And then once again, it's Anthony's quickness. He has 6.
Now that's the 6th per turnover. And we said this is their biggest problem. The only team with more per game, Milwaukee, right around 19.
Knicks on a 14-3 run.
See what Anthony does, he gives so much pressure that your offense starts further out.
Sutton uses his left arm to get around Anthony, but Anthony will be whistled for the foul. That's his first.
One thing you never really want to do is turn your back on the basket. And anytime that a defensive player does that to your dribbler, you know you're in a lot of trouble because your dribbler cannot see your cutters.
Elliott looking down low for Green. Mason doesn't buy the fake. Robinson brings Oakley way out front. Elliott, the running jumper, doesn't get it. We have a whistle and a foul. That'll be McDaniel's first personal foul, second team foul here in the second quarter.
See, San Antonio off to a very tough start. They're only shooting 43%. They're complicating the situation with the 6 turnovers. The Knicks, on the other hand, are just playing solid. They're only shooting 48%. They made that nice little rush right before the end of the quarter. But they're playing pretty solid defense right now. Now, you're Larry Brown. You have David Robinson in the game. Oakley playing him. You've got to go to David Robinson down inside.
Elliott gets them both. He has 6 for the ball game. The Knicks lead is down to 4. 11:20 remaining in the second quarter. Sutton will come out to meet Anthony. Starks, the quick trigger, doesn't get it. Vinnie Johnson has beaten everybody down court. Elliott doesn't look up to see him. Sutton will pull it from inside of 3, and he rattles it home. The former ORU Titan.
Oh, he can score. Larry's very happy with his quickness and scoring ability.
Turnover for the Knicks.
Get it to the middle.
Number 4.
Too late.
Sutton walked with it.
He waited too late, Ron. As soon as he passed half court right in front of us, the ball should have gone right to the middle. Vinnie Johnson was open, and they would have had a 2-on-1 on the other side of the floor.
Larry Brown speaks of Sutton. He says it's feast or famine. Kiki Vandeweghe up off New York's bench. He's not sure what Sutton will show up in the ballgame.
See, this is nice. The Knicks are working for Starks and McDaniel.
There's McDaniel. Doesn't get it. David Robinson with the rebound. McDaniel at 3 of 10. Antoine Carr up off San Antonio's bench, along with Donald Royal. They'll check in. Johnson looks for a pick by Green. He had the lane. They gave it to him, and he didn't take it. Shot clock at 7. 3 on the way by Elliott. Won't go. Robinson, another left-handed jam.
Now, neither team tonight emphasizes the three-point shot. The Knicks only average 7 a game. San Antonio 4. But both teams have guys who can make it.
4th dunk for David Robinson. Starks, the baseline, the basket.
I'll tell you, Vinny will get in shape tonight because Starks is non-stop motion. He's constantly running off of staggered picks down on that baseline.
Signed a new 2-year guaranteed contract. His first guaranteed contract in NBA. Very happy about that. Robinson battles inside. What a use of the left hand. Looked like he was going with the right, came with the left.
You know, Oakley can't get any more fouls.
No.
I mean, that's why you've got to go down inside to him.
Mr. Robinson, 6 of 7. Louis Grillo says we have a hook. That is Xavier McDaniel's second personal foul.
Sean Elliott is really winded, and it's good that they're taking him out right now. Larry Brown had that matchup. Elliott on McDaniel would stay with that as long as McDaniel was in the ballgame. Now they just came with Antoine Carr, who is playing outstanding basketball for the Spurs.
Playing with an injured left thumb as it heavily taped. Also checking into the lineup, number 5 for San Antonio, Donald Royal, 3rd-year pro out of North Dakota. Vinnie Johnson, who's been struggling from the outside, said, be patient, I'll get it going. He's only shooting 18% from the floor, but gets his first 2. Hopefully sneaks away from everyone.
See, when you pass in to a Knicks post-up man, that guy will cut through, and also the cutter from the top of the circle. They take advantage of you in your rotation.
Green out front. Ewing backs off him. Now Green dumps it inside to Royal. Oh, a little English on that.
I thought that was a very nice pass. That was tight traffic that time.
Anthony trying to get Sutton out of the way. Throws up the prayer. No offensive foul. No basket, says Jake O'Donnell.
That's a tough ball. That was really a tough ball. You're going to see it right now. See, from this angle here, you see, I would give that as a blocking foul because he had his shoulder ahead on the elevation.
Carr on Oakley. That's a little muscle on muscle. Sutton pulls the trigger again off the back of the iron. Ewing with the outlet to Anthony. 5th rebound for Patrick Ewing.
Oh, my.
Boy, Sidney Green.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. And I was looking right at him. Jake's got great eyes. I'm not going to say anything about Jake.
Well, you know, Green played here for a couple of years, and he and Patrick used to go at it every single day in practice because Sidney Green was the backup center when Rick Pitino was the coach. So he is not going to let Patrick get that spot.
Now we've got an illegal defense called on San Antonio. That's the first illegal D tonight. 8 minutes even remaining in the second quarter. The Spurs lead it by 2. Larry Brown from Brooklyn, New York. It's a lot of homecoming for a lot of these players. Brown for Strickland. Starks the big step. He draws the foul. But boy, I tell you, he takes that step into the paint. He's quick.
For a player that's 6'3", when he picks up the ball, his step, that stride, is always going right to the front of the rim. No fall-away jump shots for this young man. He attacks the basket. And his story is just priceless. He only played 1 year of high school basketball at Central High School in Tulsa, and then he played at 4 different colleges. But how about these stats? 15 points, 83 from the line, but how about the 40% from three-point range? And it's so nice that he was rewarded with a 2-year contract this year.
The pride of Oklahoma State and Stillwater.
Now remember, he's doing all this in 24 minutes a game. 15 points.
Ooh, Vinnie Johnson, a little French pastry, puts a little icing on it, but he draws the foul. It's not bad for Vinnie. He's shaking and baking out there.
Well, and Vinnie's working very hard. But what we had right there was, look, you made me look bad at that end.
Yeah.
I'm taking you off the dribble at this end.
Other scores from around the NBA. Of course, Ernie Johnson will be at halftime with our Prudential halftime report, updating you with scores and highlights as usual. Ernie wearing his new Christmas ties and shirts, I'm sure.
Larry Brown has such a tough job here because you have Cummins, Strickland, and then Vinnie Johnson, who are really out of shape when you talk about missing training camp, missing the early part of the season, and now they have to get in game condition. And then to excel in a defensive game like tonight, you know, it takes a lot out of them. So you have to be careful about how many minutes they play.
Also, their rotation that causes a problem. Vandaway doesn't get it, but Larry Brown was concerned about when he's going to bring players in and out now that he's got all these new players. Green picks up his 3rd personal foul.
But you know what? Somehow I think Larry would rather have the problem of talent than non-talent.
Yeah. Well, like he told his players, he said, I promise, no more changes. And there were the rumors of, well, probably more than rumors, of Willie Anderson and Paul Pressey going to Milwaukee for Dale Ellis and Jeff Grayer. And evidently that was a trade that was pretty much consummated until they got out in the media and they put the Knicks on that one.
The guy on the foul line right now, Kiki Vandaway, only playing 10 minutes a game. Now we're talking about a guy who is accustomed to that 30 to 34 minutes, an ex-All-Star player whose career average is 22 points a game. Now, he is the 9th man here, and they only usually use an 8-man rotation. But like Pat Riley said, he's accepted his role, and he's trying to become a tougher defensive player, meaning more physical for him.
It's hard in practice, likes his attitude. Shot clock at 11. Looking for Royal underneath. Twaddle taking himself, uses the glass, and gets his first 2 of the ball game.
Could have been an N1. He was clipped right across the elbow that time.
Ewing on Carr. The turnaround fadeaway. Goes halfway down, doesn't get it. We've got a clean block on Starks. But Knicks will still have it. We've got a timeout. 6:54 remaining to be played in the first half. And it's the Spurs 35, the Knicks 33. We'll be back.
Ago, we set out to create a sports sedan. But first and foremost,
35-33 is our score with 6:54 showing on the second quarter clock. College football coming your way. First up, we have the Gator Bowl. That'll be the Oklahoma Sooners and head coach Gary Gibbs taking on the Virginia Cavaliers. Tim Foley and Craig Sager will be there on December 29th, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Then we'll follow it up New Year's Eve, the 31st. I'll be in Tucson, Arizona for the Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl, Baylor and Indiana. I'll be joined by Pat Hayden and Craig Sager once again, 8 o'clock Eastern time. I think I got that promo in 30 minutes or less. Starks, Johnson moves out on him. And he does a little Chuck Person drop kick.
Well, in the early going, Ewing has struggled mainly because he got off to a very slow start, 1 for 5. But I think in the second half here, they'll be going to Ewing a lot more. He usually gets more shot attempts than Robinson.
Well, I tell you what, Starks took that 2 steps into the paint and floated it up there.
Now, he just exploded up above the rim that time.
That is 6 for Starks. We're tied at 35, 6:20. Sutton goes baseline. Pretty good looking move by the rookie.
Well, he has a scorer's mentality. You can't average 33 points a game in college and then come in here and not have that mentality.
NAIA Player of the Year last year.
Beautiful anticipation that time by Royal.
Oh, and Terry Cummings with the slam.
The Oakley didn't get back that time.
4-point San Antonio lead. Despite the fact that David Robinson's sitting down, something I'm sure Larry Brown loves to see.
See, Pat Riley can't get any points out of that position time. McDaniel and Vanderway just cannot get it going.
Jimmy Johnson doesn't get it. Ewing slaps away with it. Starks tracks down the loose ball. Vanderway plants his feet. It's a 2. Doesn't get it. Oh, the block by Carl, but Vanderway follows it up.
Everyone was standing around admiring that great block because he caught that one clean. Beautiful move by Antoine Carr.
That is Carr's 21st block of the year. Anthony bites the new floor here at MSG. The turnaround. Cummings trying to keep it alive. Johnson tracks it down, and Cummings comes up with it.
Nice ball movement.
Carr, the basket.
A lot of people kind of forget that Carr averaged 20 points a game in his last 2 years in Sacramento. This was an excellent pickup for San Antonio. And you know what I like about him? He's so big and strong through the shoulders. See, he was just bumping Ewing around down there. And while that ball was coming in, because he's been in the league a number of years, he has a reputation. You get away with all that bumping.
Right. Well, David Robinson, they're not going to let him check back in with the Spurs leading by 4, 41-37. You see the time remaining. But Strickland and Anderson back into the Spurs lineup.
I'm kind of surprised tonight, Ron, how easy San Antonio is beating the Knicks off the dribble.
That's what Pat Riley said. He's worried about their quickness, San Antonio's quickness. That and their pressure defense. Royal over McDaniel, nothing but the bottom of the net.
This second group that has been out there off and on, and they keep infiltrating some of their starters, has done an excellent job for Larry.
Well, the Spurs are hot this quarter. 10 of 14, 71%. Ewing, Carr gets a piece of it. His second block of the game. Royal gets Anthony. But Anthony slaps it away cleanly.
They were lucky on that. Because Anthony better have gotten back that time or he'd be out of the game right now. Because any time that a guy goes in, you have got to get back. You're 2 guards. That's your first priority is back transition defense. And he just made up for a very big mistake because the guy ran right past him at half court.
San Antonio's Larry Brown needs to talk about it. We've got 4 minutes even remaining to be played in the first half, and the Spurs lead it by 6, 43-37. Last 2.5 minutes, Spurs have gone on an 8-2 run, and they lead it by 6. That is their biggest lead of the ball game.
Now you look at that, and you see that in December the Spurs were 4-8. Larry Brown said when he looked at his December schedule, he thought, man, this is really going to be brutal. But look at the difference in points and then the turnover situation. But he said we started out 7-1. So we never thought it would happen. And now that it has, he says, I really don't have any answers because I have to get all of these guys in shape.
That's right. Last year at this time, San Antonio was 19-6.
They'll be a good second half team, man. Now that he's got everybody together.
Shot clock at 6. Inside, Royal can't get it to go. Fights for his own board. But we have a foul. Loose ball.
See, if I'm Pat Riley, I'm concerned because guys are coming off the bench. Carr, Royal, Sutton, and they're beating my guys off the dribble, and they're beating my primetime defenders, the guys that I'm relying on, and they're getting down inside an easy shot. That's the difference between the 2 teams right now.
Well, now Xavier McDaniel, he has 3 fouls.
This is smart. Take him.
Royal with the right hand, and he gets it to go.
Sure, he couldn't afford a foul. You know he's going to let you go to the basket, and Ewing was late arriving. But then again, you can't leave.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, didn't that sound good? He was late arriving, right?
Let's leave David alone.
Right. He's guarding an empty chair.
Starks will come in for the Knicks. Ewing had the hot hand early. Anderson tracks down the rebound.
Think of it. We have not seen Patrick Ewing go into the lane and look for the hook with either hand.
He is 3 of 9, and that shot goes down.
San Antonio playing their game, Ron, and the Knicks are struggling because they are not getting anything easy in the paint now. Plus, Patrick Ewing cannot get his game going. And to me, I think you got to tell him, look, big fella, no more fadeaway jump shots. You're not getting it done there. You've got to get it in the lane. Let's break down their defense. Let's see Robinson play off the dribble.
Well, at the conclusion of tonight's game, Hubie and I will be selecting tonight's Budweiser player of the game. And that man is definitely a candidate so far. Now, San Antonio, this is a big 4-game road trip. They go to Cleveland tomorrow. They still have Orlando and Washington. And this is an important game for them to set the tone for those remaining 4.
At the other end, you're trying to, you're 11-0 with the Knicks here at home. They are an excellent second-half team in this building. Your 3 position getting so many open shots, McDaniel and Vanderway, and neither guy could get it going. And right now, he's gone to the small unit. So he's playing Wilkins up front at that small forward position.
Ewing scoreless the last 11 minutes. Mason has it blocked by David Robinson. That is his 3rd block. The last time New York has lost to San Antonio here in the Garden was back in November of '87. Robinson posting on Mason. The quick left-handed turnaround. Strickland thought he had a steal. Robinson does. To Strickland. Doesn't get it. Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Oh, little All-State. Good hands by David Robinson.
Stark was looking for a charge under the rim. That one out in high school. Because Robinson was almost up over the top of the rim with his feet.
Oh, brother. Definitely not Bambi hands. Wilkins gets the shooter's roll.
Wilkins, Jackson, very quiet in this game.
Elliott left alone.
It's their quick unit now.
The Starks. David Robinson swats it away again. That is his 4th block of the ball game.
Not much left for this guy to do tonight, Ron.
No.
We're seeing the 5 categories: points, rebounds, shot blocking, steals, and field goal percentage. He's giving it to us all tonight.
San Antonio with 7 blocks already. Stark way outside. 1:40 left in the half. The biggest lead for San Antonio, it is 10. Robinson sets a pick. Draws the foul.
Like we said, you've got to be concerned about Strickland when he's dribbling with that left hand. Once he takes you into the middle of the floor, he is extremely dangerous because not only can he finalize going down to his left, because he is very good with the explosion and the baby hook, but he can find the people in traffic.
Starks picks up his 2nd.
The only part of Robinson's game which is not at all-star level is his foul shooting. He's only a 72% foul shooter.
There you see coming up at halftime. We'll have Bulls, Hawks, 76 Pacers highlights. Plus, Nicole Watson looks at the Knicks rise to the top. All coming up in just a couple of minutes with Ernie Johnson. Robinson, 17 points, 6 blocks, 6 rebounds, 4 blocks. Not bad. He has more blocks than some 9 NBA teams we might mention as a total. He had 1 less than the entire Knicks team coming into the game.
See, as long as Robinson will go up and challenge the shot when he takes it, and then block Patrick Ewing off the board, you're way ahead in this whole shebang. Because of the intimidation, he's got to shoot up over the top of the 7-2.
Ewing 3 of 10.
Nice pass.
Cummings tried to look inside and cutting David Robinson. It's kicked.
Now, you know whose fault that was? That was David Robinson. That was his fault. You know why? Cummings gave him eye contact, made the move, and put the ball right on the spot. But Robinson is a little fatigued, and he was just standing there. He never moved to the basket, or he would have had another dunk.
Well, Larry Brown told us he wants to play David now that he's got his rotation set, or apparently set, 38 to 40 minutes of ball game. So he's going to see a lot of playing time.
Well, then the jigsaw puzzle is how does he get Carr, Cummings, and Green? Cummins naturally being your primetime scorer, and then you have Carr. Antoine came in and made a big contribution here tonight. 2 shot blocks and a couple of field goals for you, and then you still have Sidney Green. So this was a great acquisition, picking up Antoine Carr and then also picking up Vinnie Johnson for the second half of the season in the playoffs.
Shot clock at 10. David will take it inside with the left hand, and David Robinson with 19 first half points. He is 8 of 10. Now, if you're a Knicks fan, not to despair. They came back from a big deficit against Atlanta a couple of weeks ago with this unit that's on the court right now.
Well, it's just Pat's trying to pick up the tempo here a little bit. But, you know, these guys have got to start knocking down these open jump shots.
Only 4 points in the last 5.5 minutes for New York. Starks the big dribble, loses the handle. San Antonio has the numbers. It's 4 on 3. What a pick by Starks to Jackson. Too cute. Here's Cummings.
Yeah, too cute.
This is a highlight.
I'll tell you why it was too cute. 3 San Antonio players didn't even come over half court. You know what I'm saying? See, you just had a 5-on-2, and you end up with the cute pass. They're all great when they go down, Ron.
That's right. Final 10 seconds. Larry Brown said we had a foul to waste, and that is exactly what they did. Strickland picks up his second personal.
Heads up coaching that time by Larry, because you know he yelled that right out to his guys.
And quickly up off the bench, Sutton comes in as the Spurs are on a 20-4 run. Strickland will sit down with 2 personal fouls. Don't want to have him pick up number 3.
That's right. Excellent move here right now. Boy, Strickland has had some half.
Ewing, they're going to give him the shot. He comes inside low over Robinson. Robinson with the rebound with the clock running out. He has 7 boards. Throws it up, hits net, but it doesn't go in from the top. 24 minutes have been played, and it is David Robinson's neighborhood. He leads 55-39. Stay with us, the Prudential Halftime Report with Ernie Johnson. Then we'll come back with second half action of the Knicks and the Spurs.
The San Antonio Spurs 55, the New York Knicks 39. Let's go back now to Madison Square Garden and one of the few guys who got the entire collection of Chia Pets for Christmas, Ron Thulin and Hubie Brown.
Of what? I got the entire collection of Barbie dolls, I might say, but and I also got one of your hoops cards, which is worth a great deal of money, as we know. 6:33 left in the second quarter. This game was tied at 35, but San Antonio went on a 24 run. Knicks were timid in the second quarter, especially Patrick Ewing.
Well, I think as you look at the entire first half, the Knicks shoot 39%, so there are a lot of offensive rebounds. They only got 4, so they're not doing a good job there. And that you're saying they're not putting their body on people. They complicate things with 11 turnovers. But then the one stat that blows you away: no Knicks starter has shot a foul shot. Now you look at the second quarter and you'll see that they only shoot the 30%. They have the 8 turnovers, and Ewing naturally has not scratched in that quarter. Now give a lot of credit to the San Antonio bench. And now here we're going to give you David Robinson at his best. He already has 3 steals in this game. Now you're going to see now they take the ball away right here. Now we just don't want you to give up on the action. Watch as he comes.
Of what? I got the entire collection of Barbie dolls, I might say, but and I also got one of your hoops cards, which is worth a great deal of money, as we know. 6:33 left in the second quarter. This game was tied at 35, but San Antonio went on a 24 run. Knicks were timid in the second quarter, especially Patrick Ewing.
Well, I think as you look at the entire first half, the Knicks shoot 39%, so there are a lot of offensive rebounds. They only got 4, so they're not doing a good job there. And that you're saying they're not putting their body on people. They complicate things with 11 turnovers. But then the one stat that blows you away: no Knicks starter has shot a foul shot. Now you look at the second quarter and you'll see that they only shoot the 30%. They have the 8 turnovers, and Ewing naturally has not scratched in that quarter. Now give a lot of credit to the San Antonio bench. And now here we're going to give you David Robinson at his best. He already has 3 steals in this game. Now you're going to see now they take the ball away right here. Now we just don't want you to give up on the action. Watch as he comes in on one of his many slam dunks. He already has 4 offensive rebounds, and most of them are going back as scores. Now, at this end of the floor, the Knicks are really struggling. There's a good pass to a cutter. Excellent anticipation by Royal. And you have to give this second unit for San Antonio all the credit. They came in, scored 17 points, and most of it happened just like this. Get the ball out and down the floor. Or take the Knicks off the dribble like we're going to see right here. Sidney Green going very, very strong. Drops it off, and they score down inside. You just have to like their effort tonight.
And the halftime statistics, field goal percentage in the second quarter, San Antonio's key, 63%. Fast break point, 16-6. Larry Brown said one of the reasons we're not playing well, we're not getting easy baskets. He's getting them tonight. And the center matchup has all David Robinson as Patrick Ewing was held scoreless in that quarter. 6 points in the first quarter, 0 of 5 in the second, and the third quarter is underway.
Now, Strickland did not have a very good scoring half. You look at his stats, you say he was 1 for 3. He had 4 turnovers. But he made that team go on the break, and he also had 4 rebounds.
Willie Anderson, the only Spurs starter yet to light up the board. Wilkins from the baseline short.
The guards have got to get going, Ron. You know, right now at halftime, you have Jackson 1 for 1 and Gerald Wilkins 2 for 5. They've got to get cooking.
Hopefully he tries to get position on Terry Cummings, and they were battling underneath. And Charles Oakley, who's always in the thick of the pack as far as rebounding goes, he has the real nose for the ball. That was positioning there.
So you're in the building tonight, you want Patrick Ewing to get going. The guy is really struggling. He's 3 for 12, but you want him to take it into the lane and get on the offensive board.
Oh, David Robinson, block number 5, and that is his average per game this year.
He's open. He's wide open here.
Pat Riley up off the bench yelling at his team. Shot clock at 10. Strickland will take over Jackson, and he drains it.
See, everyone that you talk to here, in management, in the building, they talk about how hard the Knicks play. Every single night how hard. Tonight we are not seeing that effort. They're kind of intimidated with all of the shot blocking, plus they cannot make an outside shot. Now we're going to give it to you right here. Now just watch. See, Ewing brings it back to him. See, anytime you're on that side of the floor, the defensive shot blocker knows that when you're right-handed, you're going to bring that shot back.
Foul was on Willie Anderson. That is his second personal. Since late in that second quarter, New York still yet to score. Ewing, the high archer inside.
Hey, he's got to get in the paint, Ron. He's got to get down inside. They just gave him a warning for knocking the ball away so that San Antonio cannot get the ball in quickly and up the floor.
Well, he had missed his last 7 shots up until that basket, and it is a 16-point lead still for San Antonio.
Anytime you're struggling, you want guys to get closer to the basket and try to get to the foul line so you can get in a groove.
Willie Anderson doesn't get the bounce, but he'll go to the line and look for his first points of the ball game.
I'm just stunned at that one staff, and that is the starting unit from the New York Knicks. Not one player has been to the foul line. And see Pat Riley in talking today about his offense, he said to us that we have long lulls. And we saw that in that second quarter. The last 6.5 minutes, they just went to sleep. Not only do they miss the shots, but they compound things with all the turnovers, and then they allow you to get out in the open floor and get those easy baskets.
Willie Anderson, the trade rumors really upset that young man. Came back, however, after Larry Brown told him, hey, you're part of this team and you're going to remain part of this team. Went out and had a triple-double. Feeling a little bit more comfortable, though, now, but still having his shooting woes this year.
Well, they've got to get him to play better defense, Ron, because he is an excellent defensive player in the past years.
Oakley was in the lane about 4 seconds. That shot's in and out. Robinson with the rebound. That is number 8 for David. The fall away over McDaniel. That was a pretty shot by Willie Anderson.
One thing you always tell coaches, the toughest thing to teach is offensive rebounding, because players have got to want the physical contact to get in there. And we said we have 2 great defensive rebounding teams here tonight, so if you want it, you've got to go in there, baby, and knock some people around.
Jackson's able to draw the foul with 9:34 remaining in the third. A 20-point San Antonio lead. That is their biggest of the ball game. That's Cummings' 3rd personal foul, 3rd team foul here in the third quarter.
When Mark Jackson's on his game, right now he's 6th in the league in assists, averaging over 8 a game. he gets the ball down inside into that painted area, and he has that natural ability to score in amongst the big trees. But then he is usually very adept at getting good offensive rebounding. But tonight, his primary job is to get back, baby, because they're running a fast break attack at us.
That's right. That's 4 now for Jackson, the former Rookie of the Year. Won it back in 1987. Hasn't played with much confidence since then.
In the building, you know, the building, everybody wants them to stop, pull it in, suck it up, be tough at defense.
San Antonio answers with 2 more. It's still a 20-point San Antonio lead. Cummings has hit his last 5 shots. Robinson knocks it away. 3-on-2. Ewing knocks it away. 3-on-2. To Patrick. Oh, put a Band-Aid on the rim. That hurts. David Robinson wanted either a travel or a foul. David slow walking over the timeline. Sellout crowd getting a little loud. That's the first we've heard from this crowd tonight.
You're up 18. The main thing is to work the clock and take good shots.
Cummings, Ewing swats it away. His 3rd block. Boy, you like dunks. You like rejections. We've got it tonight. No basket. Jake O'Donnell says he walked with it. We'll go the other way.
Could have had an offensive foul. Sean Elliott is not real quick, but he anticipates extremely well. Now here come the Knicks down. Now you're going to see this. See what Robinson wants here. I see. He got popped in the face. See, with the left hand. That's what he wanted.
13th New York turnover as Wilkins puts a body on Anderson early on. Willie takes it in with the right hand. Can't get it to go.
You got to get it out.
Here comes Jackson. The stutter step.
Nice.
Hopefully he's going to be handled by David Robinson.
What a great pass by Mark Jackson. He thought that he would take Strickland with a stutter dribble. Mark Jackson is excellent at this. You see, he levels you off and then he explodes. Excellent defensive positioning, but how about that pass? Now, he had to, as he was falling, find Oakley and get that pass through. Beautiful, beautiful maneuver that time by Mark.
Oakley, 3rd in rebounds last year, 17th this year. He has 5 points for the ball game. Last year was his best year at the line at 78%. He's down to 69 now as Sutton comes into the lineup and Strickland sits down.
Well, you know, in 1987 and 88, when he was at Chicago, he averaged over 13 rebounds a game, and that's really hard to do in this league for a big forward. Now, Barkley will get it, but it's tough for a guy like Oakley.
He's got that nose for the ball. Well, the lead is down to 16 as we are at the 8-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. The chant of defense comes alive at the Garden.
See, Sutton doesn't get the ball up. A good point guard has got to get the ball up inside of the 3-point line to get that offense going.
7 on the shot clock. Sutton lets it go. He's short. Ewing had the rebound and he lost it. A new 24 for San Antonio. Sutton stalled the offense almost, UB out there.
Well, you know, he's looking for a shot because he got off a couple of good ones in the first half. Larry Brown's looking at it and saying, hey, I can feel the building starting to come now. And also, they went up there physically that time. No lack of effort on that last rebound.
A lot of leadership though out on that floor now for San Antonio.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
yes,
my. Elliott
yes.
wide open underneath. There comes Sutton, drives the paint. Ewing gets a piece of it, but Cummings returns the favor.
See, they're beating him so easily off the dribble. The big men are rotating over. The shot goes up and missing, and the big people for San Antonio are getting easy second follow-up.
Very easy second follow-up. Cummings has to switch on Jackson.
We've been saying that. He's got to get in the paint. He gets in the paint, he's going to be fine. Because right now, Robinson's having an easy time. He doesn't have to work that hard.
Ewing has hit his last 3. Had 6 in the first quarter, has 6 here in the 3rd. Starts up off New York's bench.
But if you're coming back, you've got to come back defensively.
Robinson, a pretty left-handed baseline hook. 21 for David Robinson. 9 of 12 from the floor.
Nice pass.
Another block by David Robinson. That is 6 for the ball game.
is when you're coaching, you just love that. That sends electricity through your bench. The entire San Antonio bench was up that time because they saw Sean Elliott. He could have forced the shot. Instead, he dropped it off to the trailer. And you always want to reward a big man when he's running hard. The non-contact sport, you're going to see Robinson here hugging Ewing. Now, keep an eye on Robinson. He's down. He's back up now the second time. Most big guys in this league will go for the one block, and if it doesn't happen, they're finished. Now, this ignites the fast break. Now, watch as Elliott. He could force this shot. Instead, he takes Ewing to him. Give it up to the trailer.
How about blocks? San Antonio with 9. Robinson has 6. Not bad. Spurs, 11 offensive rebounds so far for the game. That has led to 15 points. Only 6 offensive boards for New York. 20-point lead again for San Antonio. 6:10 left to be played in the third. Whistle and a foul. Larry Brown saying good hustle. Wilkins commits the foul. That is his second.
You know, with David Robinson on your team, you would think that you would be leading the league in blocks. But New Jersey leads the league, followed by Phoenix. San Antonio is third in blocks.
Well, it helps when you get 22 in one game, as New Jersey did. Ewing gets help from Oakley. Robinson has it blocked by Ewing. Jackson pushes it up. To Starks. Goes right around Anderson. Oh, David Robinson, number 7. How about a triple-triple tonight?
Now, there's the shot blocking. You just look at that. Now, you talk about why does San Antonio hold you under 40% shooting? They've done it 10 times. That's the reason, intimidation.
Patrick Ewing down low. Coach Brown.
Hold on now. He's been in the paint, 3 shots. He scored all 3 times.
Inside. Robinson from 17 doesn't get it.
See, Patrick is really coming to life now.
Sutton tries to cut off a charging John Starks, but he commits the foul.
But how about that fellow?
That's right there,
Number
too.
5-0, who got that one on the way up. Right? Because if there was not a foul, he had another block.
Starks will be at the line to shoot a couple. 6 points for Starks, all coming in the second quarter.
He's struggling tonight. He was 2 for 7 in the first half from the field. And also, you know that he's having a tough night because he's an 84% foul shooter. But he let that one go, and his body movement was going backwards. See, that time, perfect release, nice follow-through.
Starks gets it. Brian Quinnett, number 23, who has not seen action in the last 3 New York games, has checked into the lineup. The third-year pro out of Washington State.
Well, they like him because he's very active, a live body, good defensive player.
Oh, my goodness, that is a playground move. Sutton. 6 points, 3 assists. We've got a whistle and another foul.
See, Mark Jackson will take this as a challenge. Now that Sutton is playing him right now, because Sutton is trying to score every time that he gets his hands on the ball. And Larry Brown, like he said, it's either feast or famine. But tonight, he's feasting. He's having a very nice contribution. But the big thing is Mark Jackson will try to take him at the other end.
Here's tonight's GMC Truck Scoreboard. New Jersey on top of Houston. And Chicago all over Atlanta. Still no word whether or not Desiree Jackson has had her baby. Mark Jackson's wife. Just a reminder, coming up, Nick Charles, Fred Hickman with CNN Sports, 11 o'clock on CNN. Join them for that. They'll have highlights, I'm sure, of this game as Jackson gets them both. 4 of 4 from the line. He has 6. But there you see the lead. Still 17 inside of 5. Bad pass by Sutton.
Well, you see, you can't turn your back to the basket, Ron, and then think that a player is someplace. Nice pass.
Ewing has it blocked by Elliott. Tries it again. Robinson gets a piece of it, and that is 8 for David Robinson, but the Knicks have it.
That was so intelligent. You know why? Ewing's behind the board. You didn't have to go around and get him. Just let him release the ball because he had to bring the ball back to Robinson. Now just keep a good look at this. Now forget the first move. Good block here by Elliott. All right, now watch. Ewing's behind the basket, so he has to bring the ball out to you, which was beautiful. Robinson just allowed him to do it. No body contact.
New 24 because the ball was hit by San Antonio. Ewing takes Robinson to the hole, and he doesn't get the jam. That would have been pretty. Strickland, a little playground move, and he draws nylon again.
Listen, he's the best in this league at making unorthodox shots once he breaks the foul line area.
How much does he mean to this team? It was very questionable. A lot of people felt that San Antonio could still win without him. But he does add another dimension, as does that man when he's playing well for New York. Now the crowd getting a little antsy. Only Jackson's second field goal attempt.
There's plenty of time.
Anderson going to his left, shoots to the right.
When you play the Spurs, your game plan is to try to make them launch all these perimeter J's, but tonight they're making it.
No basket. Offensive foul.
Good call. Good call. He didn't have anything that time. You know, when two guys have played one another in practice every day, you're going to see him. See, there it is right there. He just stepped right in. Now, naturally, if you're from New York, you say, Strickland was sliding that time. But in order for Jackson to get to the board, he had to drop that shoulder, and he put it right into the middle of Strickland's chest.
At GMC Truck, we've seen days like...
Spurs by 19, 3.5 left. NBA action continues tomorrow night here on TNT, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Houston and Washington with Pete Van Wieren and Hubie Brown. And we're back in action. Robinson, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 8 blocks, 4 steals, 3 assists. Very close to a triple-triple.
Now, Pat's got in all of his real good defensive players at each position right now. And he's trying for turnovers. He's been experimenting. But you see, it doesn't matter who they have out there. San Antonio is beating them off the dribble. And if they don't force the defense to rotate and they hit the easy guy, if they don't, they foul him.
Royal at the line for 2. Man played in Israel. He joined us for the San Antonio game a couple of weeks ago. You know that he changed his names there. This program is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
I like what Larry said about Royal. He said he really knows how to play the game, and he's an excellent athlete, a good substitute for us behind Sean Elliott.
The reason he changed his name in the hotels, they didn't want to know he was American. Ewing, the rim is not kind. Quinnett keeps it alive, and we've got a foul.
See, Quinnett has a live body. He's 6'9". He doesn't get an awful lot of time, but he does have talent. Talking with Ernie Grunfeld today, he said, look, he's a spot guy. He's just like Vanderway. There are 9th and 10th players. Quinnett only plays about 8 minutes a game, but when he gets in, he's productive. He's got a live body, good athlete, nice shooter, not a great shooter, but a solid player.
John McLeod gave him some minutes last year. There's our first final of the night. Chicago over Atlanta by 11 as Michael comes alive with 34 after that 14-point performance. How tough is it, Hubie, coming off this Christmas break? Larry Brown said, and even Pat Riley said, we weren't sure of the cobwebs. You can't practice yesterday. How tough is it for a team?
You couldn't practice, but the Knicks also took off the 2 previous days, which I found interesting. All right, that's why they practiced hard today at shoot-around and then came in for a walkthrough tonight.
Robinson is hammered. That's Quinnett's first personal. 4th team foul. David Robinson will go to the line.
See, Anthony, what we said earlier, Anthony Starks and Mason, coaching staff will tell you, tough, mentally tough, quick, good defenders, go out on the floor, very physical guys. Hey, that's okay. But you just did that to David Robinson. You know,
that's
it's
right.
the whole story of knowing who you're fouling.
What goes around.
Who you didn't foul, but the ref had a bad angle.
Yeah, right. What goes around. Well, Robinson had 19 in the first half. He only has 3 here in the second.
Oh, baby, look out.
Johnson on the right, Carr on the left. Good steal.
Now, 2 on 2. They just by him being back.
Quinnett for 3. Got it. this year, make it 6 of 13. The lead is 16 with 2:02 left, and we have a foul. Antoine Carr says, you're right, it was.
See, that's a bad call to me. They should have just allowed that to go by, because that was an offensive foul. You're going to see the foot move here. See, there's the foot movement right there. That should have been an offensive foul blocking on San Antonio. If you're going to wait that long, just let the play go by.
Antoine Carr, we talked about Larry Brown and how training camp sets the tone for the rest of the year and how you want your players there. Antoine Carr had a 21-day holdout, was fined over $18,000, which was donated to the Spurs Foundation, but he was also a player that Larry didn't have the benefit of having in camp.
Look, the guy's averaging 12 a game for them. He's shooting 47% and 79 on the line. Nice pickup. Plus, he's a brute. He's 6'9", 265.
He is the horse. Inside of 2. Starks over Strickland, nails it.
He's been quiet tonight. That's because we made a big deal. But I'd say I just love his tenacity, and I'm very happy for him because he's worked hard every day since he's been with the Knicks for the last few years.
Robinson took it away from Ewing. Doesn't get the return. Knocked out. Let's see who has it. It is New York. White ball, they're saying. The Knicks have it. With 1:20 left in the second or third quarter, San Antonio lead is 15. It was 20.
This place, they'll blow the lid off if they get it down to like 10. And that's all you're trying to do. Get it down to like 10. You're at home. You have the ability. You know that you're playing a team that plays up and down during the course of the game. And if you know that they're a big turnover team. Now, if you can get the building to get into the game, the fans, then you can start upgrading your defense and make things happen. See, once again, see where he ended up? He ended up 3 feet back off the foul line. Instead of shooting the ball and following through, he's going backwards. See that one? He went full.
Something small.
Yes, indeed.
It doesn't take that much for it not to go down. 14-point lead. We are at the 1-minute mark. Spurs no field goals in the last 3 minutes. Robinson has been quiet. Shot clock at 8. Strickland lets it go. He's way short.
Nice pass.
So Robinson gets Ewing in the air, and David is hammered in the face.
Yeah, that was a hard foul. But you've got to do that. That's part of the game of basketball. You're going for the shot block. You're going hard, and you're going to catch him because you are not going to allow him to slam dunk the ball. You're trying to bring your team back. It's a 14-point game. Now just watch this now. See, once again, here he is. Strickland, great pass. There's your pump fake coming down. You've got to foul him hard. You don't want to injure him. Now they call a flagrant foul. Now, when you call a flagrant foul, you're saying now that he had the intention to hurt him. Okay, yeah. Because now you're giving him 2 shots and the ball on the side. Now, if he really thinks that you're trying to hurt him badly, he can eject you right out of the game.
Well, the hard foul cost Karl Malone a great deal of money and Isaiah Thomas.
Well, you know, everyone just talks about the $10,000 fine on Karl Malone, but it was another $31,000 for the game. So it was a $42,000 fine.
Robinson gets them both. Pat Riley yelling into Jake O'Donnell. It's not going to do any good. Jake tells him to move over.
Yeah, see, if I'm Pat, I would be just as much upset, okay? Now, that's a tough call for a ref. He's got to say that you're deliberately trying to put him to the floor. Hard.
Were the refs making a statement there, considering it's going to get a little tight here, maybe? Outside Robinson, the left-handed J goes down. That was a 4-point possession for San Antonio, and a big one at that. Went from 14 up to 18. A traveling call on Starks will go the other way with 27.1 3-second difference between the shot and the game clock.
I see Starks is frustrated. See, like we said, he was 2 for 7 the first half. He just can't get going. He felt he was fouled. Now, I want to tell you, the ref on this side of the floor made the call. The guy on the other side of the floor, Eddie Middleton, I think if this man would have allowed it, he would have called a foul. And Starks would have been shooting too.
Then he looks up at the clock on the far edge.
Oh, this is smart. Take your time.
That's the game clock, lower right-hand portion. Once again, 3-second difference. Hard to Ewing, and he's hammered again. And they call traveling.
See, Robinson's upset because they took him to the floor. Mason took him to the floor. Now, this is going to be interesting.
Let's see what
Eddie Middleton is going to call. Look at this. See, he took him down hard that time. Now, let's see what he calls here now. He called a travel.
Flagrant foul.
A flagrant foul after the travel.
That is the second personal on Mason, but that's the second flagrant foul tonight.
Now, when we showed you on that replay, he caught him right across the head that time. I want to tell you, you don't see that. I've been around this league 19 years. Now, remember now, there's a nice pass off. Now, they're going to call Robinson for a travel. There's your hard hit right there.
Yeah.
Now, they've already called travel. And it's interesting that they would still give him the flagrant because right now the ball should have been dead, but he has the right to do that.
Robinson hit the first, misses the second. But San Antonio has possession, 5.6, so it was a 14-point game. It is back up to 19 just because of a couple of flagrant fouls.
That's a big call by Eddie.
Oh, yes.
And more important, what's he saying? He and Jake O'Connor are saying, hey, listen, you guys have got to stop this. Now, you're going to foul a guy across his arms before he takes it up to the rim. That's what a good hard foul, and that's acceptable in this league. But what's happening is they've caught Robinson twice now in the head.
This is it. Final second. Royal lets it go. It counts at the buzzer. Donald Royal at the buzzer to end the third quarter, Hubie. It was a 14-point game. It is now a 19-point game. Spurs 7 straight points. They lead it 85-64. We'll be back to New York in a moment. The biggest lead of the game for San Antonio, it is 21 at 85-64, and the score by quarters. The 15-point quarter for New York in the second didn't help, but San Antonio has not let up. 85-64 as we head to the fourth, and David Robinson nursing a bruised nose courtesy of a couple of flagrant fouls will start the fourth sitting down. Anthony looking inside for Ewing. Gwinnett for three. He's got two tonight.
Yeah, he sends it up there like a feather. He really has the ability to make that an effortless shot.
The Knicks playing 5 of their next 6 games here in the Garden, counting tonight. Boston 5 of 6 on the road. Pat Riley said this is almost a must-win for him tonight.
Big thing for San Antonio. Keep the movement going, but keep going to the basket.
Got a whistle. Says Jake O'Donnell, little loose ball foul.
Vinnie Johnson. You know, old Vinny's one of the better offensive rebounding second guards that we've ever had in this league. So he's always going to be around the board. When he's on the floor, though, you've got to rebound and kick out because his man can fill a lane.
The bottom. Ewing with 8 in the third, 2 here in the fourth. He's 8 of 22, however. Fans wanted a foul.
Yeah, well, Jacob Donald's not going to give you that one. Call him down.
Cummings over Mason, gets Ewing in the air. Blocked by Gwinnett. Johnson tracks it down. Gwinnett only his 3rd block of the year. Well, what a stabilizing presence Vinnie Johnson has, calming his troops down.
See, the Knicks right now want the shot clock to be down lower than 12.
Yeah.
Because on the initial shot, you had the shot clock. Right? They wanted it to go down further. An excellent pump fake in there by Terry Cummings, and then the great shot block by Gwinnett sent the ball all the way out here to half court, and there was 20 seconds when Vinnie Johnson picked the ball up.
They reset it on the block shot. And now Larry Brown wants to talk to Jake O'Donnell, who's going to help him over to the bench. Jake says, Larry, your ticket stub says row 1, seat 2.
Well, see, Larry's upset because the guy, you know, he looked at Jake, and Jake waved him off, and the back referee then stopped the action. Larry felt that they had good movement.
Shot clock now at 7. Sutton, we've got a foul. It is an offensive foul on Sidney Green on the pick. His 4th. Other scores from around the league tonight. New Jersey a winner over Houston. What a win for Bill Fitch.
I tell you, Jersey's been playing very good basketball last 3 weeks.
Glad to see Bill pick up a victory.
Nice win by Philly at Indiana. That's a big win for them.
Mason inside. That's about a 5-second call on him. San Antonio with the numbers again. All the way.
On the break, you must stop the ball. You've got to stop that ball at the top of the circle, and especially in Sutton's hand, because you know he's going all the way.
There's a good chance. Starks. Bottoms. Starks with 12. Sutton has it stripped by Anthony. The Knicks on the run. Anthony doesn't get it. We've got a whistle and a technical foul, and that'll be on Greg Anthony.
See, he wanted a foul that time going to the basket. See, he's been yelling at Jake O'Donnell all night long. He wanted a charge in the backcourt last time, and all you're going to do now when you get a good veteran referee is he's going to ignore it. He didn't feel that you got fouled that hard. And Pat Riley knows what's going on. He's just he's very calm because he knows you're not going to get anything out of going at Jake O'Donnell.
Greg has to understand, too, I think he is a rookie, and you may not quite have a big argument.
But he left that one short, Ron. Yeah. That ball was below the rim. He wanted the contact. You're not getting that call.
And now Larry Brown will go to his bench, changing troops a little bit. Elliott back into the lineup. Willie Anderson also coming back in. David Robinson back in. So David Robinson gets about a 2.5-minute rest to begin the 4th and final quarter.
Big thing with Sutton when he handles the ball, with a guy like Anthony on him who's trying to catch from the rear. Once you get ahead of him, you put the ball out in front of you and attack. He doesn't do that. He slows down. That's why Anthony's been able to knock it away from him a couple times tonight.
Strickland spending a lot of time on the bench now, getting a breather. Sutton for 3. He doesn't get it. Robinson another rebound, loses the handle. Cummings cleans it up.
Larry Brown complaining to us they haven't been able to get any loose balls, right? No long rebounds. Tonight they've gotten every one of them and every long rebound.
Well, Larry Brown is the most superstitious coach probably in the NBA, and first thing he said to me today was, well, we're 0-3 on TNT. Why are you here? I've had 2 of them. We're going to say a loose ball foul, and now Willie Anderson pleading his case. No avail.
Well, they're getting Sutton over the back that time, Ron. That was a long rebound going out of bounds. Sutton really gave it a good effort. He had a nice run that time.
Rod Strickland back into the lineup with the Spurs leading by 18. 8:50 left in the 4th. Mason hooked Cummings. I think they're going to get Cummings for. That is Cummings' 4th personal. So Cummings with 4, Green with 4, and Sutton with 4. The only Spurs in foul trouble. New York only has a couple with 3 personal fouls. And we have a timeout. 8:47 left to be played in the 4th. It's the Spurs 89, the Knicks 71. We'll be back. And here's tonight's Dutch boy in the paint for San Antonio. Robinson, the big night, Hubie.
Well, you know, the 27 points and the 8 blocks. The one thing in all of their confrontations, Ewing has always been able to out-rebound Robinson, and it's kind of interesting. He usually outscores him because he gets more shot attempts, but Ewing got off to the horrendous start tonight. He was 3 for 12 in his first 12 shots. But now that he's got down into the lane, he's more revitalized, and he's really playing big here.
Well, the round of applause you heard was not for Patrick Ewing, but the fact that the Rangers-Washington hockey score just shown on the board. The Rangers won at 7-6.
I think that might tie them.
Doesn't get this 3. That ball was part of the way down. Mason battles, but Anderson covers up on Ewing. 2-on-1. Good defense by Anthony.
When you're on the road and you get that turnover, or you get that missed shot. You must force the action. The big thing is to keep pushing. Don't be contented with your 17 or 18-point lead.
First meeting between these two teams, we mentioned San Antonio won. They got caught in a lot of New York pick and rolls. That hasn't been the case tonight.
Well, New York led by 7 at the half, but then they came out and went 2 for 13, and you know San Antonio grabbed a hold of the lead and then just buried them.
Cummings with 5 on the shot clock, and he drains it. Terry Cummings missed 11. He's back.
That's why you need him. He's a big forward who can play facing the basket. Plus, he's going to get you that guaranteed 8 rebounds a game.
He's got 11 rebounds tonight to go along with his 18 points. A double-double for Terry Cummings. Mason done that. His first field goal.
Big thing for the Spurs is to make the non-shooters do it for the Knicks tonight. The guys who do not get a lot of shots.
18-point lead. 7:40 left to be played in the ballgame. Cummings. Mason on him. Elliott goes baseline on Quinnett. Ewing gets a piece of it. Robinson is there for the follow shot. Easy.
Yeah, well, we've been saying that all night. Ewing had to come over. Why? Elliott beat another guy off the dribble.
David needs a couple more blocks if he wants that triple double. Quinnett. Elliott hounding him, gets the shot off, and that's a pretty good looking shot. Sean Elliott was all over Quinnett.
A good effort by Elliott because it forced him to put the ball down and come inside the three-point area. Now it's only a 2.
Quinnett now with 10. Anderson sneaks away. He draws the foul, doesn't get the basket. And that'll be on Starks, his 4th. And our first look at Kennard Winchester, number 20, the second-year player out of James Madison. Was waived from Houston back on November 11th. Went to Boston's training camp, hasn't played the last 6 games, so he's seeing action this evening.
Well, he was on Houston's roster last year, so he's been around a little bit. We talked to Pat Riley today. We said, what are you going to try to do defensively? He said, we got to stop him in the open floor. Well, they've not been able to do that tonight. He said, but we've got to do a good job on the slicing from the opposite side and the curls. They've done an excellent job on that. Never thinking that they were going to get beaten off the dribble tonight, time after time after time. Forcing Ewing to rotate, and then when they shoot and miss, Robinson ends up scoring with easy shots.
Anderson 4 of 4 from the line. He has 10 for the ball game. All of it coming in the second half. 20-point lead again by San Antonio. They have done everything right tonight. Starks has it stripped. The foul on Anderson. That'll be Willie's 3rd personal.
Now he's so bent on getting to the rim because he's taking it all the way.
4th team foul on San Antonio. New 24 for New York. Pat Riley looking for any combination to get some type of offense. Still a lot of time remaining. 6:35. Robinson with his 2nd personal.
Well, that puts him in the penalty now.
With the remaining 6.5 minutes. And Pat Riley wants a timeout. 6:31 left to be played at Madison Square Garden. It's a sellout crowd, but not much to cheer for so far. The Spurs lead it by 20, 95-75. Spurs by 20, 95-75. That sign did say TNT on it, by the way. And speaking of TNT, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern time, it's Houston versus Washington with Pete Van Weeren and Hubie. Hubie, what about that ball game tomorrow?
Well, you know, Houston, big loss tonight at New Jersey. They are 1 game ahead in their division, in that Midwest division. Now, Purvis Ellison last week was voted the player of the week in the NBA. His game is really coming out. Wes Unseld has done a terrific job with his team on the road. They're 7-9. They play hard every night, and they've done this without Bernard King, without John Williams, without their first-round draft choice, LaBradford Smith. So, I mean, it's just been a very difficult time down there. But they play hard, and they're in there every night.
What about Patrick Ewing? This is his first appearance at the foul line, and this is the guy that's supposed to play down low and inside. Well, as opposed to Robinson, who's been there 10 times.
You know, Larry said, my primary job tonight is not to allow the catches into the low post deep, and you've got to give them credit. They've done a terrific job at stopping that, and if they did catch it, they forced the fadeaway jump shot.
A little intensity defensively put on now by New York. Shot clock at 9. Elliott to Anderson. In traffic, with 2 on the shot clock. Royal pulls the trigger, doesn't get it. Robinson kicks it back out. Another rebound. That is 10 for him. So he already has the double-double.
See, the big thing is open up the floor a little bit. They're using Robinson high, so that leaves from the foul line down for cutters.
Shot clock now at 7. Elliott dribbles off Winchester, doesn't get it. Ewing slaps at the rebound. That is number 13 for him.
Big thing now is to protect against the three-point shot. Know who has three-point range. This guy does. Bingo! One of the tops in the league. He's 8th in the league, shooting 41%. By the way, this is the first time in the NBA at this time of year I've ever seen 10 guys in the NBA averaging over 40%.
That's right.
But John Starks is one of the premier shooters that we have in the league.
That foul was on Starks. He picks up his 5th personal foul.
See, to back that up, John is now 24 for 58 in threes. And remember, he does all this off the bench. 15 points a game in 24 minutes.
Per minute. That's a lot of production. Anderson forces it up. Winchester gets a piece of it, but that's how things are going for San Antonio. As Robinson completes it.
You're right, Ron. They've gotten really every loose ball, every long rebound, every air ball.
That's right. 31 points for Robinson, 12 of 18 now. He was shooting 58% coming into the game. Oh, we've got a 2-on-1. Sutton makes to Anderson. You know he's going to take it.
You knew he was going to do that. I mean, I knew he was going to do that. Okay.
He wasn't going to pass it. Starks for 3, doesn't get it as the crowd of 19,763 leave their seats. We'll head over to 33rd and 8. Inside, count the basket for Sean Elliott. His first field goal of the second half and his first points of the second half.
You're going to see Elliott make a nice move here. You know, he's very, very clever down on the baseline. Now remember, he is 6'8", player of the year in his senior year in college out of Arizona, won the John Wooden Award. He's come in and he's a double-figure scorer, gets that 13 to 15, very solid for you every night, and does an excellent defensive job on his man. Like Larry Brown said today, I never worry about Elliott on any matchup that we have during the year.
I love that comment. San Antonio over 100 already as Starks lets the 2 go, and he's got it. So Starks playing with 5 personal fouls. 17 now for John Starks, above his 15-point average. But San Antonio nursing the big lead of 21. 23 has been their biggest. Vinny Johnson holds it up, shot clock at 5. Works out Winchester. The running right-hander doesn't go, but we've got a foul.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see if during the course of this season that Vinny Johnson can get his game together. When you have played so long like he did for Detroit, where he made such a great contribution to their championship years, he had the high picks out at the top of the circle. He had the pick and roll going for him. He had the baseline staggered screens where they would just knock his man off and just center on him 5, 7, 8 times down the floor. Here you don't get that in the passing game.
Well, David Robinson has checked out, and most likely for the rest of the game, we will not see David Robinson as Vinny Johnson picks up his 4th point of the ball game. Robinson, 31 points, 11 rebounds, 8 blocks. I'm going to go on a limb. He may be our Budweiser player of the game. I don't know. Now, Glenn Diamond, our producer, I think he wants John Smoltz.
Well, you know, last year they voted him #1 center, first team All-NBA, and he's playing at those kind of numbers again this year.
Dominating. Starks takes it strong to the hole, wants the foul, doesn't get it, but he does get 2 more. Smoltz, of course, plays for the Braves. Just a joke. Green.
Now, the second unit has done a nice job all night tonight.
He's not afraid out there, you mean?
I tell you, your guy is knocking them home.
No.
You Oklahoma guys, you're sticking together.
I tell you what, anybody plays for Ken Trick, he better know how to shoot the basketball, I guarantee you. In fact, Starks played for Ken Trickey at Oklahoma Junior College. two ex-Trickeyites out here. Inside of 3. 23-point San Antonio lead. Looks like they may break the 0-3 skid here on TNT. Shot goes down.
Antoine Carr, Sutton, Sidney Green. You think about it. Contributions off the bench tonight, terrific. And Royal. Let's not forget Royal. Did a very nice job with him.
Tom Copa will come into the lineup as the three-pointer goes down for Quinnett. That is his third 3.
I mean, come on. The guy's made 2 previous threes. You know he's a three-point shooter. You must go out and force the guy to put the ball on the floor.
Benny Johnson working on Winchester. Tries to get Patrick Eddy up in the air, doesn't get it. So Twan goes around him for the 2.
Carr is so big through the shoulders. My word. 265 pounds. He's all man. But he was up on those 2 blocks that he had in that second quarter. Very, very impressive tonight.
Big addition for San Antonio. Starks pulls the trigger on the 3. Would have made it in college, not here. And we've got a 20-second timeout as Larry Brown wants to get Copa in the lineup and also Donald Royal as they lead at 110-86.
What you know, we could say about San Antonio, what a great job they've done with the field goal percentage. Now here are the top home records. Now you see New York, they're going to get that 1 now. Utah 8-1, out there 19 road games, and then you have Boston and Chicago. But the team you want to talk about is Cleveland. 12-1 at home, very slowly bringing Mark Price along. They have their team intact. They have a nice 8-man rotation going right now, and they are the team to keep an eye on in the Eastern Conference.
Well, the pride of Coon Rapids, Minnesota, number 30, Tom Copa, will check in the lineup. John Anderson is the trainer of San Antonio, and he said that his mother in Spokane, Washington, bought cable because she knew San Antonio was going to be on TNT so many times. But he can't talk to her because they've lost so many. So John Anderson's mom in Spokane, it looks like your son's going to get a victory tonight. Don't cut your cable yet. We have a ratings period coming up in February, please. Johnson got it.
That's the first open jump shot for Vinnie Johnson. You know, he's 2 for 6, but that's the first one where he was wide open on his release.
Copa may not get in.
Well, San Antonio leads this league in field goal percentage against at 42%. And we said that they've held 10 teams under 40. Now tonight, with 6 minutes to go, the Knicks were at 42%, and it's going to be close. They're going to get that. And they're also right at the top of the league in defensive rebounding, and they showed that tonight. The Knicks have not been able to get to the offensive boards. Very impressive showing here.
Winchester will go to the line, shoot a couple as the foul was called on Antoine Carr, which is, of course, academic. And our game summary looks like this.
Well, we said it was going to be tough to get to the offensive boards tonight. The Spurs played big. And then that second quarter where the Knicks shot 30%. Disastrous.
Well, the Knicks want to tie a record for consecutive home wins to start a season. They will not do it as we near the 1-minute mark. They trail by a bundle.
You know, it's interesting at that small forward position. Xavier McDaniel, Kiki Vanderway struggled all night long. They go to Quinnett. The guy's been open all night at that small forward position, and he's banging them home.
Well, Benny Johnson just dribbled it out of bounds, and they gave it back to San Antonio. I don't think he called bang. He did not call bang. No. I think we have to have a rule about that. Winchester inside. Pretty good looking move. Doesn't complete it. Outlet to Royal. Oh, yes.
Nice move.
And he'll hold it up with 48 showing on the game clock. So San Antonio will go to 15-11 on the year. Copa lets it go. He's got it. Tom Copa with his first 2. Starks, don't let him take it inside.
He never stops.
No.
He really has. He's perpetual motion. It's going to wear you down. He's constantly trying, working both ends of the floor hard.
Copa has it knocked out. Ball belongs to San Antonio. 21.5 left in the game. 16 on the shot clock. New York falls to 17-8 on the year, and San Antonio is 6-1 when having fewer turnovers. That's the story for them tonight.
First time they played, the Knicks had 26 turnovers. I did not think that we would see that tonight in this building because they've been playing such good basketball.
Royal has 13. That ties his season high for this year with 9.6. This will do it. Vinnie Johnson doesn't even have to cross the timeline, and our final will be the San Antonio Spurs with a big win as they start a big 4-game road trip. The final 118-89 over the New York Knicks, snapping the Knicks' 11-game home win streak and 4-game win streak overall. Once again, our final 118-89. Hubie and I will be back in a moment, and we'll be handing out our Budweiser Player of the Game. The suspense is building.